Okay, so back to the testimony. But yeah, I don't even remember where I left off, to be quite honest. But yeah, so I definitely was coming into the truth. Y'all had awoken me after that college experience. And during that time in college, during my time in college, I had just went to a community college, but I was starting to feel tired, like mentally, like so tired, and I could not just shake this feeling of exhaustion, just being spiritually exhausted. So and just waking up every day and going to that place. So I had just stopped going, and with everything going on in the world at that time, I had just stopped going, because it was like 2018, 2019. And yeah, so I stopped going, and I didn't even know what I wanted to major in or anything like that. But yeah, so I dropped out of college, and then around that time too, that's where things started to get crazy. So with my testimony, so my testimony is also about healing. So my body, during that time, I had slowly began losing the ability to walk properly. So I had experienced issues with my nerves. I started feeling tingling. I started feeling tingly sensations starting from the waist going all the way down, and they would tingle like crazy. Like if I tried to run, I would feel that sensation, and then I would also feel like they would become heavy, and then it would be hard for me to lift up my legs, and I couldn't walk properly. And regardless of me, walking to bus stops, or walking here or walking there, or running to catch a bus, or whatever I'm doing for that time, like I started to feel those sensations, and it progressed until I finally couldn't walk properly anymore. I remember I was out one day with my cousin, and then it was like nighttime, and we were coming back, and we were just walking on the sidewalk. It was dark out, kind of, and the street lights were lit, and we were close to home, just walking past some parked cars. And I started all of a sudden, it's like I was struck. I started stumbling, and I had to hold on to her for dear life, cuz I was walking like this. I was walking like an elderly disabled person. And so then that happened, and then from that point on, things were never the same. Later on, um uh, I did inquire to y'all, like, why is this happening? What should I do? And then it's at that point where he let me understand that I needed to go on a fast, a 40-day fast. And he had, I would be listening to other people's. And then there was one time where a teacher that I was with, she started talking about things, and then I had mentioned this to her, and she was like, "Oh yeah, yeah, I went on one. I had to go on one myself." She did like I think she did a fast for detoxing, or fast for detoxing and getting rid of parasites or something like that. But she did that, and I from that moment on, where he let me know I needed to go on a fast, I had attempted the fast so many times, but I would go on the fast for a little while, and then I'd fall off. I'd break it. I would break it as soon as problems would arise. or people would fight me on it, or as soon as I saw like the devil just attacking me on it, I would just give up. Because at the point where you're fasting, like that's the moment where the enemy attacks and is like, hey, I just cooked this, why aren't you eating this? You don't want my food? What's wrong with you? Or you don't like me because you don't want to eat my food, or I made this for you, I wanted to cook this for you, you don't want it? Just things like that. And already being sad about certain things and just going through all kinds of different trials, and then having that on top of it, just made it really difficult. So then Yah led me to another person, and she became a very good friend of mine. And I found out that we had similar testimonies. And I found out that she, like myself, she would have struggles with just in the same areas that I did. I had problems with gluttony, and I had problems with breaking and keeping fasts, and I had problems of wanting to get things done, writing down goals that I want to achieve, but just not being able to achieve them. And that was my life, in Christianity. Just constantly desiring to do things for the word and get things out, and it would always fail, or I wouldn't be able to get things out for Yah. And of course I didn't know his name at the time, but that was that, like just wanting to figure out what was his destiny for me, what was his purpose for me. I had always wondered that. Back then, like in Christianity, especially in high school, I started wondering, what was I called to do? And then so constantly desiring to get things done for him and not being able to get it done, and writing down goals and writing down that I knew that he gave me a love for the arts. My high school was a school where you could select something to pursue. There was theater, and then there was music, and there was art and whatnot. And so I pursued music. I had chosen to have music class because I had already loved art from being a small young child, and having my coloring books and whatnot, and seeing the art in there, the Barbie coloring books, and the Barbie movie where was it? No, it wasn't that one. It was Rapunzel, where she had the paintbrush. That was always my favorite scene, where she painted a picture, and then she walked into it. She painted a whole nother world and stepped into it. I always loved art. I knew I already loved art, and that I would draw on my own, and I could draw on my own already at that point. And so I decided to choose music. And then but I had a love for all the arts still to this day. And I knew that Yah had put that on my heart, but I just didn't know what I was called to do. And then I knew I also loved teaching. So there was that, and I just wondered, what am I supposed to be doing? Yeah, so when I was in community college, I'm like, okay, let me get the liberal arts out the way, and then what am I going to do after that? You know what? Let me choose something. Let me choose fashion. I'll major in fashion. So I did that, and then I dropped out. I didn't finish. But yeah, because I also love fashion, of course. Got that passion for fashion. Oh my gosh. Growing up with that. But yeah, so that was that. he let me know that I had to go on fast, you know, and I needed to detox and stuff like that and seek him and just stop breaking fast and whatnot and become closer to him and stop just eating and drinking and living life as if you don't have something you're supposed to do. I had moved in with my husband's parents in their home, and I remember a tree had broken off and fallen right above our heads over the bedroom, because the bedroom's at the top of the house. It's like at the top of the tree had fallen right over our heads. And I just remembered, I'm just like, okay, that got my attention, because at that time I don't think I was obeying the fast, or I think I had fallen off and I was just like, whatever, I'm not gonna do this. But I was just eating and drinking. I was eating some good too. At that time I was eating some, I think it was, what do they call, I forgot what they call it, tasso, like pickles, I don't even know. I'm trying to say goat with rice and pickles and all that, but I was eating some good Creole, some Haitian Creole food around that time, I believe. But yeah, y'all let me know, like, it's some wake up, child. Wake up. You're sleeping because you're eating and drinking and you're just not doing what I'm telling you to do. And he gave me confirmation over and over and over. And I would go back and forth between homes, because I had stayed with my relatives, and I would always go back between them and then my husband. And I remember when we had gotten married, matter of fact, maybe I should save that for another video. Shalom again. Okay, yeah, so he had told me to go on a 40-day fast, and he gave me signs just over and over again, and I couldn't ignore it. So I went on the fast, and he actually led me to my good friend. He actually led me to someone who is my good friend now, and she had a similar testimony as me, and then we started fasting together. So that was a whole experience in and of itself, and that was pretty amazing. But Yah is great. But he wanted me to fast against the things that I was eating, to come back to him and to gain control back over my life. And also, he warned me about the parasites and what they're doing, what they're putting into the food. Let me know that what I was eating, like, this is food sacrificed to idols. This is the food that was sacrificed to idols in the book of Revelation.
now I'm eating. Alright, this is as far as I got. A couple bites. And I feel something in my mouth. And I'm thinking, what? Did I chip my tooth? So I'm feeling around. No, not me. What's this? It's a fucking tooth. Tell me that's not a tooth. Come on, focus. That's
Your discretion is advised.
Oklahoma Senator's new bill is raising some eyebrows. Senator Ralph Shorty introduced legislation today that would ban the use of aborted human fetuses in food. 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 Now, Shorty says the bill is needed to raise public awareness. In his own research, he says he found companies that may use embryonic stem cells to develop flavors. He found companies that may use embryonic stem cells to develop flavors. He found companies that may use embryonic stem cells to develop flavors. He found companies that may use embryonic stem cells to develop flavors.
Embryonic stem cells to develop flavors.
But we need to talk about Cinemix. And Cinemix is spelled Senomyx. Senomyx. And all of you listening can go to stopthecrime.net, type that in our search bar, and you will find this information. It's very startling. You're going to see photographs that are going to be very, very disturbing. But more importantly, you're not going to want to eat this, okay? So we're going to talk about what this is. There's a list of companies that are using human fetal cells from aborted babies as a flavor enhancement. Of companies that are using human fetal cells from aborted babies as a flavor enhancement. Of companies that are using human fetal cells from aborted babies as a flavor enhancement in our food supply.
Pepsi was busted for doing that. Pepsi was using that as a flavor enhancer in their cola.
Yeah, PepsiCo is certainly one of them, but the list is very long, and it's important for everybody to download the flyer that we have on stopthecrime.net so you don't consume this aborted fetal tissue. What does it do? Well, it incites anger, and it literally rewires our brain as we cannibalize ourselves. The same thing, of course, which happened with mad cow disease when they were grinding up roadkill and other cattle and feeding it to the cattle. We're being fed our own species. 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 Certainly implementing this. So I'm going to just read some of this to you now. But again, I caution you when you type in the list of companies using fetal cells from aborted babies, which you can do. Again, the list of companies using fetal cells from aborted babies. You're going to see a very disturbing photograph. But Cinemix is listed on its website, and its partners decided to ignore the letter from the Right to Life group that was certainly organizing against the use of humans in the food supply. And sadly, the Right for Life group lost their bid to stop this during the Obama administration. Now remember, it doesn't matter who's president. Anyone could have been president at that time. We're a corporate structure. We're run by the corporation, and certainly PepsiCo is a massive corporation. So during the Obama administration, and sadly, on February 28th of 2012, the President's Security and Exchange Commission ruled that PepsiCo's use of aborted fetal human tissue remains in their research and development agreement with Cinemix to produce flavor enhancements falls under ordinary business operations. So we're going to talk about a list of products. You should not be consuming these products. All soft drinks and Pepsi, all drinks Sierra Mist, all drinks Mountain Dew, all in-beer mug root beer and Pepsi, drinks of No Fear, Ocean Spray, Seattle's Best Coffee, all brands of energy drinks, all brands, Aquafina water, Double Shot, some of the Frappuccinos, Gatorade, they go on, Tropicana, all products of Nestle, including coffee creamers, instant soups, bouillon cubes, ketchup, sauces, instant noodles, etc. Bubble gum, Chiclets, Clarets, Dentyne, Trident. There's many other lists of gums as well. You need to look at this for yourselves. They talk about Cadbury Adams candies, and they mention the original gummies and many other Cadbury candies as well. Certs and Halls cough drops. The company produces, there are also companies that produce anti-wrinkle creams containing the cells of aborted babies as well, of 14 weeks gestation. And there's a list of the creams that we need to understand have the aborted fetal tissue in it as well.
Just go and research the word Cenomix, okay? Cenomix is a transnational company that creates flavor enhancement for products for transnational companies like Pepsi, Kraft, Nestle, Campbell's. And what they've been doing is that they grabbed kidney cells from human aborted fetuses. So they grabbed these kidney cell lines, las células sanguíneas de los riñones de bebés abortados, and in laboratory they replicate these cells and they put them in all your products. So ponen los productos. What products are we talking about? Well, we're talking about your Gatorade. Drink some aborted babies. Yes, seriously. We're talking about Lay's chips. Yeah, that's why they taste so good, don't they? Pepsi products, all right? Tropicana juices, Dasani water, Minute Maid. We have to not consume anything from these companies. And tell them that we're going to participate in their insane rituals.
So when you type in, is there...
I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis when I was 22. That was in 2002, so I've had this disease for 18.
Is there any Cinemix in your ingredients and you hit space, it changes it to demonic. How about that?
appears that Sonomix developed patent flavor enhancers by using proprietary taste receptor-based systems. The receptors are made with HEK293. HEK stands for Human Embryonic Kidney Cells, and 293 denoting that HEK was from the 293rd experiment. HEK293 originally came from a healthy, electively aborted baby whose cells were then harvested and cloned. Sonomix has used these fetal cells to create various types of taste enhancers such as salt flavor, savory flavor, sweet flavors, and many other types of flavor enhancers. Their flavors are purposefully developed so that they stimulate your taste buds without them actually tasting anything. Much like MSG, these flavor enhancers operate on the neurological level to produce reactions. Since they are not actually ingredients, but rather enhancers, they are not required to be listed in a package ingredients except as artificial flavor or natural flavors. And due to the small amounts of the additives that are used, Sonomix chemicals have not undergone the FDA usual safety approval process for food additives. And what's disturbing is the fact that the company is using human babies to make our food taste better. To make matters worse, the effects of consuming these cells affects us neurologically just for purpose of taste. So what I've been doing is trying to find out how to determine if these fetal cells are actually in foods that's listed on these websites, and I've based my answer on 3 questions. First, in Sonomix development of their flavor enhancers, was it publicized that the fetal cell lines were being used? And that's yes. Second, is there a high amount of public warning out there of foods researched to have fetal cell lines infused? And that's yes. Third, is there a consistency on how the alleged cell line infused ingredient is labeled? And that's yes. The label of natural flavors is what appear to be consistent. I have found that on many of these products that have said to contain the fetal cells, usually what is listed in the ingredients is natural flavors or natural flavoring without any specification of what the natural flavoring is. I have even found the all foods and drinks that have the mysterious quote-unquote natural flavor ingredient. There are enough food companies out there that's actually listing their full ingredients. So there's no need for me to take that risk.
But you shall not eat flesh with its life, that is, its blood.
Planned Parenthood was caught selling
$30 to $100 price, but that's per specimen that we're talking about, right? Yeah.
The heavily edited videos were secretly recorded and released by members of an anti-abortion group called the Center for Medical Progress.
Are you looking at 8 and 9 week specimens or only Center for specimens?
Group members, posing as potential buyers of fetal tissue for medical research, allege that employees of Planned Parenthood, the government-funded women's healthcare organization that also performs abortions, discussed the selling of baby parts with them. It's an accusation the organization strongly denies, saying it only charges fees to cover costs.
I want to be really clear. The allegation that Planned Parenthood profits in any way from tissue donation is not true.
While it is illegal to profit from tissue donations in the U.S., organizations may provide fetal tissue for medical research if the mother gives her consent. But conservative legislators are among those Americans who say it's still wrong.
This is an issue about our humanity.
Planned Parenthood is harvesting the body parts of unborn babies.
However, medical researchers in the U.S. have been working with fetal tissue for decades. It helped in the development of the polio vaccine and is helping treat diseases like Parkinson's and AIDS. Molecular biologist Akhilesh Pandey uses fetal tissue in his lab at Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore, Maryland.
People went undercover and caught them selling baby parts to the highest bidder. Why do people want baby parts? Oh, okay. And a lot of people brushed it off. You know what it really was? It was traumatic and very scary. So if you read about it online, what is the first thing your mind made you do? Get out of here, dog. Nah. There's no way I'm eating aborted baby fetus. There's no way. Right?
Y'all eat all of these foods, you're eating aborted baby fetuses. Alright, so they made us cannibals, alright my people? Stay away from that. Do not eat it. That's not food. This is why they got so many abortion clinics. All the body parts of a baby is being used. It is not being disposed of.
They sacrificed their sons and their daughters unto devils, and shed innocent blood, even the blood of their sons and of their daughters, whom they sacrificed unto the idols of Canaan.
Introduced legislation today that would ban the use of aborted human fetuses in food. The bill is needed to raise public awareness. In his own research, he says he found companies that may use embryonic stem cells to develop flavors.
They're making our food out of people. Next thing they'll be breeding us like cattle for food. You gotta tell them. You gotta tell them.
Promise, Tiger. I promise. I'll tell the exchange.
You tell everybody. Listen to me, Hatcher. You gotta tell them. Silent breed is people. We gotta stop them somehow.
Micah 3:1. Is it not for you to know judgment, who hate the good and love the evil, who pluck off their skin from off them and their flesh from off their bones, who also eat the flesh of my people and flay their skin from off them, and they break their bones and chop them in pieces as for the pot and as flesh within the cauldron? Deuteronomy
14:3. Thou shalt not eat any abominable thing. Thou shalt not eat any abominable thing. Thou shalt not eat any abominable thing.
They sell the eyes for about $1,000 a pair. They sell the brain for about $2,000. They sell the heart, the lungs, the liver, the kidneys. And they even sell the arms and the legs. They're selling your aborted baby, your own flesh and blood.
The discovery of horse meat disguised as beef in burgers and lasagnas has kicked off a crisis. Emergency summits have been convened in the UK and France, and the race is on to find the source of what one British minister called an international criminal conspiracy.
South Korean authorities say they plan to crack down on the illegal smuggling of so-called human flesh capsules. The pills contain parts of human fetuses or infants and are believed to be sold as stamina enhancement drugs.
The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
We were told at Planned Parenthood that we were to turn every client visit and every telephone call into a revenue-generating visit. The only way that you can make money off of a pregnant woman at Planned Parenthood is to sell her an abortion, because they don't provide prenatal care, they don't provide any obstetrical care, and they don't help women with adoption services. So the only way you can make money off of a pregnant woman is to sell an abortion. And so it's not surprising that 92% of pregnant women who enter Planned Parenthood will have an abortion, because they are being sold a product. And but ultimately, I left
after witnessing a live abortion procedure take place on a 13-week-old baby. And I saw that baby fighting and struggling for his life in the womb, trying to get away from the abortion industry. And I've said before that organ harvesting is a big business. Tissue harvesting is a big business. It's not just talking about fetal tissue here either. I mean, we're talking about companies like IDOLS who have millions of dollars of assets. People are profiting, organizations are profiting off of the sale and harvesting of adult organ donors as well. So, we're not just talking about babies, even though in these videos we are, but I mean, this is a symptom of a larger problem, and that is the exploitation of life. Period. I read somewhere that Texas Tech received a $3 million federal grant to do embryonic stem cell research, harvesting fetal tissue and organs, NIH, I mean, all of these different groups are collecting this tissue and doing we don't know what.
So they kind of bypass the whole question of the legality of selling these organs and instead accuse the Center for Medical Progress of breaking the law. They went so far as to call them the extremists and murderers. So total irony there, but basically they really want Congress to get on this because they want to hang on to that more than $700,000 that each facility receives every single year from taxpayers. So Breitbart reports it's about $714,285 tax dollars per clinic per year. So not only are they getting money for performing these abortions, but they're also getting money for selling baby parts, and they're getting more than $500,000 per clinic from taxpayers.
It says NeoCutis technology platform relies on the use of cultured fetal skin cells obtained from a cell bank for treating differing skin conditions. Well, besides the fetal skin cells part, it sounds okay so far, right? To most people, not to pro-lifers. The dedicated cell bank was originally established for wound healing and burn treatments. Hey, sounds like a good cause. Using a single biopsy of donated fetal skin following a one-time medical termination. That's where it goes bad. Imagine that! Let me read it again. The dedicated cell bank was originally established for wound healing and burn treatments using a single biopsy of donated fetal skin following a one-time medical termination. That's just a nice way of saying we're using your aborted baby. And you gotta understand the problem with this. If they're using fetal skin to take care of this problem, that means they depend on having the fetal skin. That means that they depend on your abortion. And the more demand for this, the more abortions they need. Don't you see the problem with it, my friends? It's not only ungodly, but it's immoral. It's a travesty.
A think tank in the UK says too many kids are what's making the planet worse.
In many black communities, for every child actually born, 3 others are aborted, more than double the rate among whites. Some say abortion is the #1 killer in the black community.
African Americans here in this country are the only ethnic group in any place on the globe that's not replacing themselves. This is genocide.
Hillary Clinton received the Margaret Sanger Award. This is a woman who started an organization called Planned Parenthood, and that woman called black people human weeds.
An organization whose founder believed in eugenics.
The goal? To rid the country of the feeble-minded, defectives,
States in the United States refusing to compensate victims who were forcibly sterilized because they were deemed unfit to reproduce.
If they could keep certain segments of the population from reproducing, that all the world's problems would disappear. And
the truth is, there is a concerted, organized, long-standing effort to eliminate African Americans from the human gene pool. Not just African Americans, by the way, but Africans. This is happening right now. You are being subjected to it. It's happening through multiple vectors of science, medicine, and food that I will detail here in this talk, and it's all being done covertly. Now let's talk about the abortion industry. I'm not going to download politics on you about whether you think abortion should be legal or illegal in the third trimester and legal in the other two or whatever. That's your deal. That's another day, another topic. My point is that abortion ends a life, and it ends certainly a potential life. And I say abortion ends a living human baby. Now, abortion centers are deliberately set up where? Predominantly black communities. Abortion messaging and abortion marketing is more aggressive toward black communities than it is white communities or non-black communities. The Planned Parenthood / abortion industry needs a steady supply of black women getting pregnant and wanting to terminate those pregnancies in order for them to be able to harvest tissue and organs from partial birth abortions, which are almost all black babies. Now, a partial birth abortion, in case you're not familiar with this, is when there's a baby that could be born and could be brought into this world, is capable of breathing and living. It's conscious. It has memories. It has sensory complexity. It has consciousness. It has feelings. And it's partially born. Let's say just the head is born. And then at that moment, the abortion center murders that baby. And then they harvest the organs. They will harvest the brainstem. They will harvest the lungs. They will harvest the kidneys. They will harvest the heart. And you know what they do with those tissues? Well, we're told they use them for medical research. It turns out most of those tissues are sold to vaccine manufacturers. And they use those tissues to grow biomass for vaccines that are then injected into other children. And this is openly admitted by the vaccine industry and the CDC. And on my website, Natural News, we have shown screenshots of the ingredients lists of these vaccines, such as chickenpox vaccines, varicella, uses human fetal tissue. And that human fetal tissue comes predominantly from black babies. So it's not just that the abortion centers are set up in predominantly black communities to reduce the population numbers of black children and future black adults, but it's also that those black children are having their organs harvested in order to make vaccines that are injected into other babies. There is a kind of racial medical cannibalism that is taking place in America today, and it combines the evil of the Planned Parenthood abortion industry and the vaccine industry, combines all that with an overlay of eugenics and genocide. And by the way, if you don't think that abortion is tied to a history of eugenics and genocide, you need to read the history of Margaret Sanger, one of the key founders of Planned Parenthood, who called black people human weeds, and she said that it's better to kill black babies in the womb so that they don't become adults. And I'm paraphrasing that, I don't know the exact quote, but it's something along those lines. She saw abortion as a key vector of exterminating the black population in our world, and that goal is being carried out today.
he just revealed so much to me, and yeah, and he revealed what certain things were, and he led me to verses just here and there. The verses where it was talking, referring to Yasharal, saying that ye shall eat unclean food in the land of your captivity, and the other verse where it said that ye shall eat your sons and daughters, and then I'm just over here like, what? And then he led me to more information on that subject, and my mind was blown, and I was horrified. And from that point on, I started getting rid of those foods. But there would be times where I would do good and other times where I would do bad and break my fasts and go back to that food. But over this time I was learning to become like Daniel and not eat the king's food, and to stop eating it. And so I remember, I feel like that was like 2023. So around that point, I was really getting groceries, and I told myself I'm gonna learn how to make everything myself. I'm gonna cook it myself, everything from scratch. And there'd be times where I just break the fast and I just give up, and I'm like, oh, let me find some. And then I'd have to scrutinize everything, look at everything, look at the label that everything came in, and just really look at it, pinpoint, okay, where is that part where it says that on the label, and then just start making things myself. Like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna make ketchup by myself, or I'm gonna make this by myself, or I'm gonna make that. But I would, every time I would try to go and cook, and I believe this is like when I would break my fast or something like that, when I would try to cook or whatever, or even after the fast, I think things would just happen to me while I'm cooking, and this horrid sensation would just come over me, and then I feel like I'm about to pass out, and it would just only happen when I'm cooking. And there's nothing, there's no chemicals like in the air, like crazy substances in the air when I'm cooking, or there's no like fumes from anything. It's just normal kitchen, and that would always happen to me. Okay, so 2024, I tried to do the fasting again, and then I believe I actually did it. I actually got it done. I believe 2023 is where I completed it with my friend, but we had done it like imperfectly, or we had like messed it up and did stuff our own way, and we would be getting corrected by he would let something happen to my friend, and then that same thing would happen to me. And it would be crazy, like, what? I never go through this health issue, or this never happens to me. But then, you know, your friend would go on and tell me the things that happened to her that day and what she did. And then come to find out, and we're on complete opposite sides of the world, mind you, and I've never seen her or anything like that. You know, but my come to figure out the same thing that happened to you today happened to me. Well, what is this? And it's just the connection that you make when you fast with someone. So it's the spiritual connection that you make with someone when you fast together. Ooh, so 2024, I attempted to do it again because I had done it so many times previous year, I was like, you know what, I want to do a pure fast. I want to keep this one on my heart. I want to stop having the little things within myself where I'm like, oh, you know, I know I'm fasting, but let me go change this to this, or let me try to make this more pleasurable. Let me go tweak this, let me go tweak that. So, I attempted it again, and I believe 2023 is where God introduced me to the Minister of Wellness, and he was someone that would be preaching about fruit and how to stop eating meat, and that you need to stop eating meat. And I found out pretty soon within my walk that that's what y'all wanted me to do, because when I would eat meat, bad things would happen, like serious health issues. I think the time of 2023 where Passover was coming, I believe I was preparing to eat lamb and things like that, and I believe at that period I was still eating meat. But I just remember that time I was focusing all about the food and just being gluttonous, and I remember I was preparing to teach my younger brother about it, who was a teenager, and I was excited, and I'm like, oh, I can't wait to have that lamb. And then I bought lamb, and I remember I was worrying about how to cook it, how to prepare it, how to do this, how to do that. And I think got to cooking it, and I remember when I had eaten it, and I was basically unrepentant at that point, you know, just being gluttonous, you know. And I remember eating it, and then I had lost the ability to walk after I had bitten into that meat, after I ate that meat. So, y'all just led me on a path of what I need to do to correct what I've gone through, because my legs have declined ever since college, and I can still walk, but I walk. My gait is abnormal. When you see me, I'm like I take a step and then I might have to drag my other leg, or like my walking is very unsure. And you know, y'all reminded me of the verses that say a double-minded man is unstable in all of his ways, and that is literally what I was going through physically. So I had to be broken down. Y'all had to allow me to go through this. And also I realized later on that it's because of what I was doing when I was still in Christianity, going to church every Sunday and then still being in sin. things that would entangle me, the lust of the flesh, and then going through sleep paralysis. But let me understand that just ignoring him and continuing to eat and drink, like when he would tell me, which he would try to tell me, I believe, to go on a fast. He tried to tell me to go on a fast back then, but I didn't understand what was going on, or when I would go eat something, like let's say Dunkin' Donuts or something else, you know, I would always feel convicted. I would remember getting ready to go to college, and then I'm on the way there, and then, you know, I'm hungry, I want something to drink, and then, you know, I just stop at Dunkin' Donuts, and I'm like, yes, alright, let me get my food. And then, you know, at college, everyone's got their stuff, everyone's got their food and their drink, they've got whatever coffee, everyone has whatever they're gonna use to go throughout the whole day. And so, you know, I would reason within myself, why can't I have food? Why can't I eat this? Why can't I drink this? I just want to go and eat what I want to eat and get ready for class, get ready for classes. But fighting against the lust of the flesh during that time, like when I was starting to feel tired of class and all of that, feel tired of college, during the time of COVID. But it was crazy because it was just spiritual warfare, and I would be falling asleep at certain periods of the day. No matter how much sleep I got, no matter how well rested I was, the fatigue would always come like 12 p.m. or 2 o'clock p.m. And I remember I would start falling asleep in class, and this isn't just no regular fall asleep, oh I'm tired. Like, this would be something I couldn't fight. Like, it would be attacking me. And then the sleep paralysis, like the demons that would attack me when I would sleep back then, and I'm calling on the name JC to help, even though I'm still in my sin. And then I noticed that when I call on Yahushua, that those ruachs, those evil spirits, they don't come back. So there's all of that. So 2024, I'm over here attempting it again, but the fellowship that I'm in, you know, that the fellowship I was in, like, it just messed up my mind there, because I was still unrepentant, but I was in that fellowship. I went to join that fellowship because I wanted to correct myself, and I wanted to be like, you know what, I'm gonna learn how to do this well and structure myself and time management and all that, so I could get these works out for y'all that I feel like I'm supposed to do. Because when I was in Christianity, I knew even from that time, something was placed on my heart, and that thing was to film something for children, like film videos or whatever. And I had started doing that. But anytime I would be in my sin cycle, like maybe 1 week I'm sinning, the other week I'm not, like every time I would try to make that show for children that I knew I was supposed to do, I would get attacked. And my brother and I, we would be doing it together because we were both on the platform where I felt led to film. That platform is Roblox. But yeah, I always felt like I was supposed to make stuff for children and stuff. I was on there, and I loved playing that game because I started playing that on that platform when I was probably 19. So, you know, playing with him from there on there. And also finding other believers, other people that believed in that game and stuff. And then I remember I made a group for them to join, like, and I changed my username. I put the creator in my username. I was like, JC loves you, something, something, something. And I would just find people that believed as well. But yeah. And then later on, once I found out his name, went through that whole thing, I'll change it, and then I would be so shocked when I would find another player that believed, and they're like, hey, your name, And then there will always be those other players that are just like, what are you talking about? You know, those demons will be coming through and they're like, you're a Trump supporter. Who is that? Or if I would be speaking against the jab in my name, or if I would be preaching about it in the game, you know, people would just be going crazy about that and be like, I know you hate gays, or, you know, just random stuff like that, just stupid stuff. Because I'll be on there trying to save children and preach in different servers, but there's that. So it's a crazy testimony, and so he let me know that this food that we have right now, it's the king's food, and just slipping off and staying on that fast and then going off and then going back, it's been a heck of a thing. But he led me to the minister of wellness, who would be preaching about fruit and stuff like that. And I remember y'all wanted me to eat fruit for a period of time, and I did not want to eat that. I didn't want to eat that. I'm just like, what? I can't even have my own food. I can't even cook my own food. So I've given up this, or I've thrown that away, and now I make my own food from scratch. But I could even have that. I had to give that up. And then I was like, why? I don't want to just eat fruit. And so I was going through problems with that. And on my fast, after I got off the fast with nothing but water, nothing but coconut water, I got off that fast, and then he let me know, I want you to eat fruit for a period of time. And then I was struggling. I was like, no, I can't do it. I would try for a few days after I got off of it, and then I would go right back into eating regular food, and I wouldn't break it properly like people say to do with soups and light things. I would go straight back to whatever it was that I had been wanting during the fast. So, I don't know, burgers, fries, whatever it could have been. So, yeah. They let me know throughout all this that there is something wrong with the food. And I remember he led me to a video where this woman was told that there's dead baby in ice cream. And that was just confirmation. You really are putting those cells, they're putting those cells inside of the food and using it as flavoring. So, but yeah, just all in all, just looking back over it, I would be breaking my fast for stupid reasons, just because maybe I was angry or I was sad about something. And then trials would always show up to make me sad, because that was a rock. I dealt with the rock of sadness. And I remember when God gave me the word, he gave me the Apocrypha book. He gave me the Shepherd of Hermas. And I remember when I was reading that for the very first time, I read it and I was amazed and I was so happy reading it. But I remember I had to put it away because I was like, man, I can't even keep these things that's in here. But I remember later on, like, I started reading it again, and I remember where I read where it said that a person that deals with the rock of sadness, they can't they deal with sadness because they can't get their works done for the Most High. They can't get whatever they plan to do. They can't seem to get it done for the Most High, and then they get mad at him, like, why can't I get my works done for you? And then it said they don't realize that the reason why is because they have some sort of sin or whatever. So I was so amazed to see that, and I was like, why am I in here, literally? But yeah, just so much revelation. But the food is no good.
Bend down. It just looks like
make the camera focus.
scales, like actual scales.
Okay, shalom guys. So as you can see, let me make that focus. So I've gotten off of the 40-day fast. Unfortunately, it was not pure. I wanted to, I think that's been the second fast, for the second 40-day fast. I don't know, like, that was the third major fast that I've done with my Akoti, and we've done it together, trying to keep it pure. Now, this was the third time, I believe, and all throughout the fast, I just could not wait to eat, and my mind was on nothing but food, just food. It was supposed to be on the true food, the bread of life that came down from Shemaim, but I had my heart just focused on food still. And I was writing, I would just waste time writing down recipes, and I'm like, okay, fine, I won't eat food physically, but I'll still look at it. I'll still like learn different recipes and how to do this and how to do that. But one thing would lead to another, and that would use up and waste time. So you can see how effective that is. So right now, I really do want to thank y'all. And my what is it? My digestive system is definitely better off now, and I'm able to go to the bathroom more, because that was a problem. Maybe for years I would just keep stool in for like maybe a week or two, because I would just be stuffing myself constantly. But anyway, as you can see, like, all of this stopped since I've ended it, for the most part, because this was happening like every day, because I would this would happen every day. This was like Would you say torture? Yeah, this was like wisdom correcting me, like whipping me, or the angel of correction, as what happened in Shepherd of Hermas is how they explained. But what did I want to say? I keep forgetting. But hold up. Alright, I don't remember what I wanted to say, but I will definitely give a proper, I will give a proper testimony video, because I used to talk about my convictions when I first joined the ministry like 2 years ago, and I would talk about it, post about it, complain about it, and people just wouldn't believe my convictions. They wouldn't credit the conviction, like they would just treat it as if it was a joke or whatever. But the longer I would put it off, just like Jonah did when y'all convicted him to go preach to the Ninevites and he ran away, that's my same situation. So the longer I put it off and the more I messed up at attempting to do it myself, the more and more time was wasted, the more and more I would become afflicted in my flesh, the more I would break out. And that would really happen on my lips. Matter of fact, it never happened here before. Whenever I would get breakouts, they would just come like maybe just like a little thing on my arm or maybe on my leg, and then it would just go away. But from childhood, I think it happened on my neck like really bad one time, and maybe under my armpits. And the doctors would say it was because of cats. Because we had cats, and I loved cats. I was like, I do not want to be allergic to them. But, yeah. Okay, so I thought I was recording, but I wasn't. So back to what I was saying. Yah has been giving me back everything that I basically kind of gave up on. Like, we all have dreams and aspirations and things that Yah puts in our hearts to go and like do for his kingdom, and he gives us talents and abilities and all that. But being in constant sin, I always had plans and whatnot, and I would always write down my goals and dreams, and then I would never be able to get it done. Like, I would start and then I would just give up, or I would start and do it and then something would happen to mess it up. So yeah, so he's been bringing and giving all of that back to me and increasing my joy. So all praise to the Most High for that. And so right now, what I'm working on, let me show you my workspace. Not have to be. Please put those clothes in the washer for me.
Hey y'all, so it is day 19. Yeah, I'm sorry. I am sorry, y'all, because this is like halfway into this thing and I did not film. I did not film. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for that. I was supposed to film every day, but I didn't. Don't hate me, but I will try to film for the last 20 days, so don't give up. So yesterday, my kneecap, like I noticed that it was just like basically right here. And I could literally push it and then like realign it, make it straight. It's not as dramatic today, but bring it back.
I'm trying to show. It's not mine.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. But yeah, but like I could literally push it back in the middle and like try to make it straight, but it doesn't stay there. So, and then yesterday, like when I bent my leg, my knee was just, when I was bending my knee, my leg was just going all the way out, and then you could see my calf and downwards, it was going out like that. But this leg is just normal and straight. You know, the knee is like kind of center, and the knee is center, and then when it bends, it just bends straight up. It just bends straight up, no problem. But this one like goes towards the middle, and like I don't remember that verse, but yeah, it says strengthen your weak knees, otherwise it will be put out of joint. And I didn't listen, and this is what I'm dealing with now. So strengthen your knees, Yashra. Yeah, this leg is just doing this normally. This leg is just, it's not going straight. It's going in, and then no, it's going in, and then all the way out. Thank y'all for healing. Okay. Okay, so I thought I was recording, but I wasn't. So back to what I was saying. Yah has been giving me back everything that I basically kind of gave up on. Like, we all have dreams and aspirations and things that Yah puts in our hearts to go and like do for his kingdom, and he gives us talents and abilities and all of that. But being in constant sin, I always had plans and whatnot, and I would always write down my goals and dreams, and then I would never be able to get it done. Like, I would start and then I would just give up, or I would start and do it and then something would happen to mess it up. So yeah, so he's been bringing and giving all of that back to me and increasing my joy. So all praise to the Most High for that.
Lied to me, Dad, and now you made mommy sad. And I bought you this coin. It says #1 Dad. So they keep screaming your name. It's no wonder you can't go to sleep. Let's take another pill. Yeah, bet you will. You rap about it? Yeah, word. Keep it real. How could it be that the curtains is closing on me? I turn around, find a gun on the ground, cock it, put it to my brain, so God shady it probably. My light flashes. Plane that I'm supposed to be on crashes and burns to ashes. Oh.
Hey y'all, so it's either day 19 or day 20. Staying strong, staying strong. Yesterday I had it was quite an interesting juice made with zapote. And I was like, ooh, I think I'll put some soursop juice, just a little bit, and then soursop, zapote, and yeah, I don't remember. Something else. It tasted pretty good. Reminded me of a sweet potato cheesecake. I don't know. It might be because I've been doing this for so long and it just I haven't had like regular food, so it's gonna, I don't know. When you haven't had that and then you're doing this and then you drink something, I don't know, it starts to taste like things. Or maybe it always tasted like that. I don't know. But anyway, staying strong. Finished a song today and I am pretty happy with it. So praise y'all. Praises to y'all. Day 20. Hey y'all, I'm just down here. I'm taking out the trash. Hey y'all, so it is day 1 again. Sorry, this is too loud. So it is day 1 again. Sorry it was so loud. It's day 1 again. I think I started 11 a.m. So and today's the 7th, so we're going to finish this and hopefully be done with it. And yeah, yesterday I was supposed to record myself at least for a few seconds, but I was naughty yesterday and I had what do you call that? But I had some curry. It is so funny because when you try to do things with your own hands and you convince yourself in your head, oh, this is only gonna take a short amount of time, or I'm gonna hurry up and get this done, or I'm gonna make this like that and it's gonna come out right. Like, no, that's not what happened. It's so funny because, you know, things go wrong and stuff comes out tasting weird and you were like, oh, I planned this. Well, if you're me, so. But anyway, yeah, so day 1, guys. I will be recording the rest of this and I will come out successful on day 40. So praise y'all for that. And I have a drink here. And that's all I'm gonna be drinking. And maybe some coconut water. Yeah, some coconut water and whatever other fruit drinks maybe. Praise y'all. Life is more than food and the body is more than clothing. Is it not? It is. So, Alright, shalom. Oh, I forgot to say, I uploaded the photo yesterday, so praise y'all for that. Yay. But, you know, you can't just have works, you have to have obedience with the works. You have to have the obedience to complement the works. So, and forgive me because I hate when people record like this, but you're not missing anything. It's a whole mess. We're gonna be making music for y'all. So yeah. Ooh, praise y'all. Shalom. Hey y'all. So it's it's day 1 again. It's the 8th. I was very bad last night. Gorged myself half to death. Very mad with myself. But praise y'all that he woke me up another day to try again. Oh, look at me. But anyways, Yeah, so I'm here working on something and it's fun. Let me show you. Shalom, y'all. About to start drawing, so I just wanted to check in because it's day 2. Yesterday, I had to push it to 7 p.m. You know, because that's usually how I do. I usually mess up. But yeah, shalom. Yeah, it's day 35, by the way. What day even is this? I don't know.
Last partner in this challenge. I didn't come out here to do a solo challenge.
I was over here doing work and whatnot.
Do you make call the medic
And
now? No.
going through my daily.
Let me know if you need anything. I just want to see you
Oh,
get
sorry,
better,
you know what? I was really feeling like dying. Just so tired. I'm going through this every day. And it just won't stop. But then Yah helped me to remember something. And that's from the Shepherd of Hermes, that angel is gonna take you through some torment, some punishment, because you did not obey him. And so he's gonna be opening up a can of whoop that behind. Okay. And you gonna get punished. But we are punished not as we deserve. We deserve so much more. And Yah is faithful, and he is also merciful, because mercy triumphs over judgment. So, all praises to the Most High. He said we're going to be tested in the fire. Do not look at your trial and be like, why is this happening to me? That's what that verse says in the canon. So, all praises to the Most High. I gotta keep fighting. I don't even know what day this is. 38. I believe this is day 38. But all praises to the Most High. Bye. Okay, y'all. It's day 40. Past day 40. We walk by faith and not by sight. But I completed my part, so hallelujah. Praise Yah for stripping me of the things that were hindering me. And yeah, I'm done with that. Hallelujah. Alright, y'all. It's literally day 2 of getting off the thing and actually eating food, not just drinking coconut water. But your girl's tired. Food, snore, wasted time, prep, cooking. Even when you do all of your meal prep, it still takes the whole day because of physical ailments and bodily ailments and all of that. So let me see. Yep, it's literally day 2. Yeah, literally day 2. Okay. I had food yesterday and then had some food today and snore. It was taken out yesterday. But today we good. We watched this movie. I was surprised. It was actually nice. But we going into the fruits, y'all. So praise y'all. Y'all as well gonna be done for that. Peace.
It's a low maintenance. It also keeps Jesus my came into the ruler's house and saw the minstrels and the people making a noise. He said unto them, Give place, for the maid is not dead, but sleepeth. And they laughed him to scorn. Even though I'm Buffet, forth, he went in and took her by the hand. And the maid arose. So lightweight. And the fame hereof went abroad into all that land. And when Jesus departed thence, 2 blind men followed him, crying and saying, Thou son of David, have mercy on us. And when he was come into the house, the blind men came to him, and Jesus saith unto them, Believe ye, lest with the devil. And when the devil was cast out, the dumb spake. And the multitudes marveled, saying, It was never so seen in Israel. But the Pharisees